Welcome back to the party package. Or, as I'm going to start calling this segment, is we're going to be talking hockey. Now, I haven't come up with a freaking name for this segment yet, because this is going to have to start being a thing like talking wrestling stuff. I have an idea for it, but I'm not quite sure yet. I want to come up with a clever name. Maybe I'll come up with one by the this comes out. I don't know. But this is the first episode of Talkin' Hockey, which isn't going to be what it's called. That's a stupid name. I think there's something called that already, but that's a dumb name, so don't worry about it. But we are here to talk about the NHL playoffs going on right now, and I just want to put out my opinion. I'm gonna plan on start doing some recaps of the games. Not so. I know things might seem like I'm trying to copy a certain hockey guy. I mean, my cat's even here, and they even look the same. It's just coincidence, I swear to God. And I got jersey. Well, that's just every hockey YouTuber has his jerseys, and I got my hats. This is cool. I like that. That's sticking out there. But yeah. So we're gonna fix that as we go. I mean, I'm gonna come up with a name. Decide what we're gonna do. I really just want to recap like how things go along the way. I don't really think I'm gonna do one game at a time because I barely get to watch most of the. Well, I don't watch most of the games, but I follow the series and like I watch enough to know what's going on, and don't mind that. And so I'm just gonna start talking about the series. So the first round's already over. This is the second round. The second games of Calgary and Edmonton and Rangers Carolina are happening today. So just to give you an idea when that's happening, when this is coming out. Or when I record this. So games 2 are done for Colorado, St. Louis, and Tampa, Florida. So I'm just going to start. I just want to talk about each game, break them down a little bit, each series, and what teams need to do to win, what they're going to need to do to get over the hump of. And some of these teams definitely add a few things that are obvious, but I think I do a better job elaborating on them than most people. So I'm just here to give my opinion on them, and that's what I'm going to do here. So let's just start with the one that I've watched the most of, and that has been Florida versus Tampa Bay. Got a cool jersey there. It's all sparkly. Got it on my hands now. So Florida versus Tampa Bay. Florida got past this team in the first round after not weird series, but a series that they should have been able to walk right over a team, and they struggled to. And Tampa Bay just fighting their heart out to get past the Toronto Maple Leafs. Enough's been said about those series. I don't need to go into those. But right now, the Florida Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning should have been the series that everyone was waiting for. But instead, it's turned out to be the series that no one cares about. This series has been so boring in the first 2 games. Nothing has happened. Sure, Florida came out with some anger this game 2, but I mean, they came out by hitting more people, but that didn't do anything for them, did it now? They just lost again 2-1. And they're just okay, there's a lot to say about this series. The main problem with this series is that Florida is got the best offense on each line, I should say, than any other team. I mean, Colorado you could say, but I would say they're only really a 2-line team, and then everything third and fourth line does nothing. And then they're helped with that their defense. We'll get there. But they are the most stacked up front, no matter what you say. They have Barkov and Huberdeau. They can't be said enough. They're top 10 points players every year. And then you've got Claude Giroux, who's who used to be a superstar. He still is, just a little aged. You've got Carl Verhaeghe, who is playing out of his mind against his old team. And then you've got Duclair, Hornquist. You've got the Marchment. You got these guys on the bottom lines. You got Marchment. God, why? Now I'm blanking because I'm recording. So Duclair, Marchment. You've got whatever. So you get all these guys all through the lineup. You've got 4 lines of. I would say the 3 lines of studs. 4th line can participate. Sam Bennett, that's another one. You got every single line has the potential to score every single game. They are the offensive machine. but they can't score a goal on the power play. Which, I mean, everyone knows. They finally scored one last game, but I think they're 1 for 24 or 25, around there, which is insane. That is insane, especially for a team that should have the best offense than any team in the league. Which they do, but they can't generate anything in this series. Nothing. They just can't generate anything. They're not able to. They're not on the power play. I think I don't know if it was Olczyk or who said it, but they said it well. They were like they're not try. It's like they refuse to try to get towards the net, which is a great point. They're usually like Tampa Bay, who has the best one. I have a. Give me 5 seconds. All right. We're going to do a little bit of a coaching thing here. So, generally what you'd like to do, I used to be a coach, somewhat. I'm going to get back into it. What Tampa Bay does really well is that the D-man up here, their key trick is that they pass it down to this forward down here, and then he sends it to this guy right here to bang it into the net. That's what they do. I'm blocking it. That is their play right there. The D-man forward, big, quick shot to the middle, and then if there's a rebound here, this guy crashes in too, and that's it. That's their play. That is the play. The thing that Florida is doing is instead of anything like that, instead of their forwards down here ready for that pass to the middle, instead their guys are staying on top of the circles. And the D got one D-man, I would say one was about here in here. And then there's one forward here, which this is like a 1-4 in the neutral zone. Like this should be, yes, Cat. This should be like this is a back check strategy. This isn't like yes, don't stand on the cat. Don't stand on the jacket. Sorry. First time. They're not going towards the net, and when they do, there's no one to back it up, unlike Tampa Bay down here, which is the perfect play for them to make. That is exactly what you want to happen. But instead, they just don't do that. So they're not pressuring the net on the power play, and that is a huge problem that they're making. They're not making any chances on the net for rebounds. If there's a rebound, there's only one guy there, and he's going to be blocked. Especially against like a Victor Hedman out there. I mean, that's the thing. Tampa Bay is so loaded to the brim with defensive talent. When you think of Tampa, you're probably not thinking of their defense. You think of their offense. You got Kucherov and Stamkos and Point and Cirelli and Killorn, and you can keep going. Gross, Colton, all these guys throughout the lineup. And there's so much to talk about on each of these teams. But Tampa Bay is just so strong in it. People don't think about their defense, I don't think. I think their defense is underrated. They have the best defense for defense in the league. Colorado's the best offense. Tampa has the best defense. I think people forget who Ryan McDonough is. He used to be the captain of the Rangers. He used to be their main D-man. And now he's there. I mean, sure, he's not probably as good as he used to be. But, I mean, he is... You got Chernak, Sergachev, Hedman, McDonough, and then you've got the Jan Ruda and Cal Foote, or Nolan Foote. It's Cal Foote, I think. And then Bogosian. Like, all 7 guys, because they're rolling 7 defensemen, are prime-time defensemen, especially those top 4. That top 4 defensemen there, Hedman, I mean, the best defenseman in the league. Cale Makar is taking that role. But I just feel if you were asking me right now, still I would put Hedman above Cale Makar. Makar is like better skilled, but if I'm gonna put a defenseman out there to play for me, I'm gonna put out Hedman because I'm gonna want I want defense. Makar's best offense for he's the future defenseman. I'll say that. Cale Makar is the future best defenseman in like a year from now. I would say Hedman probably becomes second next year. But right now, Hedman is just playing so good, and that they're just stacked back there, right? So Florida should be the one team that Florida should have a problem against producing offense. But it's like not even the problem. They just can't produce. Their top guys just can't do anything. And Kucherov's come in and he's taking back his role as being a superstar with that play again on Aaron Ekblad of all defensemen. I mean, they are just running house on this team without even doing much in return. Like these are lower scoring games, and the first game isn't really a low score, but like I feel like Florida kind of gave up towards the end. For the most part, it was 2-1, 3-1 most of the game, and then at the end they finally gave up. And that game one call on Cirelli, that goalie interference. I'm usually the type of person that says like goalie interference is like. Goalie interference, to me, is you can touch the goalie all you want. The question is, were you stopping him from making the save? And Cirelli knocks in, his butt runs into Bobrovsky's face, moves it out of the way, and by the time he's coming back, the shot is already coming at him. There's no way he could read that. And they called it a goal. It made no sense to me. It was ridiculous. But that's not why Florida lost. Florida lost because they can't produce any offense when they need to. And then when they finally do get a chance, they got the best goalie in the world in Andrei Vasilevsky, who's going to stop everything you throw at him. So Tampa Bay, I was kind of not writing off. I knew they were still the Cup champs. I feel like they're very underrated for being back-to-back, which is insane. But Tampa Bay, they still have it. And even they're out point, which is huge. Chernak is like hurt, and Kucherov was finally coming back. But Florida, for them to win this series, they got to step on the gas. For them to win, because in these games, Tampa's not even walking over them. I think Florida just needs to just turn on the lamp. Just get out there. They need to be yelled at to go out there, and they need Barkov and Huberdeau, they need Joe Thornton in that locker room yelling, "You guys are going to go out there, and you are going to kill them. We're going to run over them." But no one is saying that, and they're losing for it. They look like they're out of gas. They look like they're just out of their breath the whole game. And Florida is losing. They could easily come back in this 2-0 series because all they have to do is just finally just hit the gas. So I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't get it. They're just failing. On every level they're failing. So I don't know what else to say about them. Florida, to win this series, they need to just finally step on the gas. Bobrovsky in defense really isn't the problem. And then Tampa Bay Tampa Bay to win this series, I guess technically just needs to do what they've been doing. But if they want to solidify to make sure in case Florida heats up, is for them too to hit the gas. They also kind of look out of breath. These two teams look like they were gassed by the series one, and they look like they haven't been able to recover yet. And I don't know, it's weird that they weren't able to. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's weird. I don't know. So anyway, moving on from that series, we'll go to the series that I've seen game 1 of. I didn't get to see game 2. So we get St. Louis versus Colorado. Colorado versus St. Louis has been, you know what? No, I'll save a video for each series. That's what I'll do. I'll save a video for each series. That's what I'm going to do. Just decided it on video. So what we're going to do is I'll talk a little bit more about them. Bobrovsky is not the problem. Goaltending, I like to break down teams by goaltending, defense, and offense. Obviously, that's like how I choose who's the better team, who's winning, right? Goaltending for either team is not failing them. Either goalie. Bobrovsky isn't playing outstanding, but he's playing good enough. Vasilevsky is still being himself. No problems there. Defense really isn't the problem for either team. Offense is just the problem. Either both team, Stamkos and Kucherov is finally lighting up back there, but for Florida, they just need to step on the gas. They just need to find that spark and finally actually start rolling. So other than that, I don't know what else to say. These two teams should be cup contenders, and they're looking like pathetic. They look like bottom of the league teams right now. I don't know. Maybe it's two teams that are evenly matched, and maybe like neither one's able to gain ground, and every time they just don't have enough time to get that space to skate. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're just too good at stopping each other that there's no momentum either way. I don't know. But one of these teams are going to have to figure something out, especially the Panthers, who are down 2-0. They're who I chose to win my bracket, so I'm kind of hoping they can pull through. But if they don't, Tampa Bay, I hope they win in three-peat, and that's all I have to say about that. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, click that subscribe button. It's a free subscription, and that's all you gotta do is click it. And then if you like this video, leave a thumbs up, not a thumbs down. Don't do that. And then leave your opinions down below. Who do you think's going to win? What do you think is the problems? And I got an interesting question for you. Do you think the winner of this series will win the Stanley Cup? At this point, look in series, I think I will never bet again. Not a bet against Tampa, but if Tampa gets past this series, I wouldn't be surprised. Florida, I could see losing. But that's my question for you down below. Leave it below. If you want to leave any other suggestions, comments, concerns, rants, opinions, or whatever the hell else, feel free to. And until next time, I have been the party, and this has been in the camera this whole time. Thank you for watching. Ta-ta for now.